Okay, so here we are again. Another Mackonreal take. Um, this time I wanted to talk about. Okay, well, Happy New Year, it's 2013. Hey, the world didn't end. So what I wanted to say was I saw the movie Django Unchained about 2.5 weeks ago. It's a pretty fucking awesome movie. Pretty, it's pretty graphic. It's a Quentin Tarantino film, so you expect no less. But what really upset me, or what really hit home the point for me. It wasn't the movie, but it was how slavery was depicted, and it kind of got me thinking. As a race of African Americans, seeing as I'm an African American myself, where did we go wrong? I mean, yeah, we have a black president and a few black senators, and yeah, more African American women and men are graduating college and doing things with themselves present day. But after 500 years of enslavement, where do we get the balls to walk around talking about I got Krenak or do my chains hang low? And like it's almost like we are an embarrassment of what our ancestors suffered through, of what our great grandparents had to go through with, segregation, or not even hell, just our grandparents. Segregation wasn't that long ago. The '60s were only about 50 years ago now, and it just boggles my mind because we're okay with it. It's almost like slavery worked, and not in the sense of yeah, we're gonna have people do free labor and work real hard and not pay them. Like, first of all, let me just side note. Can you imagine what a slave's life was? I mean, a lot of people say, "Oh yeah, it was slavery, blah 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 blah." It wasn't that bad. Mostly non-minorities, but have you ever imagined? Okay, for those of us who are employed, imagine going to work, never having a break, and only really getting off when you get to go to sleep. And then you wake up first thing the next day, do this shit all over again. Like I hear people bitch and moan about 8 to 10 to 12 hour shifts. Imagine like a 20-hour shift. Imagine a 16-hour shift. Imagine working your entire day knowing you ain't getting a check. You don't even know what a check is. And if you mess up, somebody might kill you or beat you half to death. And there ain't no weekends. There ain't no, oh, it's Friday and about to chill. No, 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 no. Slavery. It's forever. Or it was. Um, so just think about that. So, to get back to my point, where do we fall off? Like, I mean, even with the civil rights movement, like, yeah, we wanted a bunch of stuff, we wanted to do this, but see, the problem I find that is, like I said, slavery worked because we don't value ourselves as human beings the way a lot of other races do. Hispanics and Asians and a lot of even whites. A lot of those are very communal races. They stick together. Blacks are too much about, oh, I'm gonna get mine and do what I gotta do. And then we don't ever pull up the rest of our race. You know what I'm saying? Like Langston Hughes talked about I'm sorry, not Langston Hughes. W.E.B. Du Bois talked about the talented tenth of his time of a generation of blacks that were gonna rise up and give back to the community and bring the rest of the 90% with him, and that never really happened. It just didn't. He even said on his some of his last dying words were like he was disappointed in his race just because we became a bunch of sellouts, and in essence we did. Like there's nothing wrong with the hip hop community and because it's all entertainment, but in the grand scheme of things, would any of our ancestors be proud of what we're currently doing as a race? Like today, Dave was, and now what we are presently, would they be proud? If Martin Luther King, like, for anyone who hasn't seen the Boondocks before, it's a funny animation based off the comic that used to be in the papers. I implore you to watch the episode Martin Luther King comes back. And basically it's about had Martin Luther King not died and instead when he was assassinated, he was in a coma and he woke up in present day, a lot of civil rights leaders would just be ashamed and appalled. I mean, it starts with us. Like, forget the fact that the rest of the world thinks that we're not much worth of anything and we're not that intelligent and we don't have anything going for ourselves. But it starts with the fact that we're so quick to turn and tear down each other. Like, I myself, as a black man, hate to say it, I don't really like black people. But that's not because I'm an inner racist or I hate my own people, but it's because my people have a very negative stigma of tearing down stuff they live around. Like, I don't really want black neighbors because it's a known thing that for some reason black people move in, neighborhood goes down. And it's sad that that's a stipulation that comes with a certain color of your skin. 9 times out of 10, if I was in school or I was in class, I always want to work with somebody who seemed like they wanted to be there, not there to meet girls, or there to, be lazy. I mean, it's just the way it is. I mean, it's sad. I'm not gonna keep talking about this. I mean, I can make another video about it, but it's disheartening because, like I said, I saw that slavery stuff, and it's like we went through so much to come so far to only get set back. Why are little dudes walking around sagging their pants now when that's a style that comes from being in prison because you don't have a belt? Why are people okay with putting goals all up in their mouth? Why are people, and I'm speaking specifically about African Americans, why are we so okay with being told we're not good enough? Why is it that we're more accepting or our ideology is built around, our kid's not going to go to Harvard on a full scholarship? No, we're going to put him in every football, peewee league, and every baseball and basketball league, and he'll be a professional athlete. I mean, that's cool, but what are you really empowering that person with to go out and combat the world? Like, when I graduated high school, I thought I was the shit. And I got to college and realized, you're not the brightest. I mean, you were the brightest in your little C, among the brightest. I had a full scholarship coming out of high school. I get to college and I'm meeting people and I'm like, whoa, guess I'm not as smart as I thought I was. Or at least I was, but the level of competition, the field wasn't even. And so I say, instead of focusing on what new iPad or what new iToy you can get your kids, for those of you who have children of African American descent, I would say let's focus on getting them to know their roots, getting them a book, getting them something to be proud of, so when they reach my age and adult age, they can go out to the world with the tools, not of electronics and being able to, in an electronical multimedia world, be able to navigate, but instead give them the tools with this. Empower them with something inside here, so when someone speaks to them, they don't say stuff like, "Oh, I can have a sip of your drink." Like, that's slave talk right there. Oh, I can use your book. I could borrow a pen. I mean, this is stuff people used to say to me in class. I mean, even in college now. Why not teach them proper grammar? Teach them your multiplication tables, basic arithmetic, all that. Why is it that 75% of my graduating class, the 2006 class of Lithonia High School, 75% of them at least failed one section of their graduation test, which is all basically stuff that's based off 9th and 10th grade. So simple biology, social studies, basic math. I don't know. I have no idea why it's like that. But if you are one of my followers, I'm going to continue to bring it real, and I'm just pointing out as I see it. Because too many times, if we continue to propagandize and let people believe that, it's okay to act silly or act up in school or not have your parents influencing your life, we're just going to continue to fall into that slave mentality. And essentially, nothing's going to change. They won. They already took us from our homeland, broke you down as a person, and then let you know that you weren't good enough to do anything else. Matter of fact, you couldn't even be called your own race. You were a nigger. Not a nigga, which is a slang term, but a nigger. You were a monkey, a lowlife. Hell, even in the Constitution, you were a third of a person. That means if you owned enough black people, a few thirds could have issued you more electoral college votes back in the day. You were property. That's all it is, property. And so if you want to continue to be shucking and jiving and acting stupid and letting others depict us as a weak race. Yeah, okay, well, we got a black president, but we could do a whole hell of a lot more. And I say it starts with the families, both the mother and father being involved in their kids' lives, and with the education system. If the parents aren't involved in the child's life in the first place, then they can't know what they're not learning in school. Thus, when they're trying to graduate and pass those graduation tests, they can't pass or they're ill-equipped because the people that were teaching them in the first place weren't either in their lives, one, or two, the people who were teaching them, the teachers, don't give a shit, so they didn't try that hard. And these are all things that need to be changed, but only we as a race can change them, because if we don't look out for our own, who will? We're sending our young kids out into the world to say, oh yeah, go be whatever you want, but we're only going to give you half the knowledge, which is why a lot of minorities either say, oh, I'm going to make it in the pros or I'm going to go to the military, because they don't know anything else. I have many of friends and associates who tell me, oh yeah, I'm going to join. Hold on one second. Shut up. I'm going to join the military because I don't know what else to do with my life. I don't know what I want to be when I grow up, so this is what I'm going to do. Instead of having the courage or the mindset of, yeah, I'm going to get out there and make it in this world. I'm just as competitive as anybody else. So that's all I have today. I'm going to post it. Say what you say, like what you like. I'm going to just keep it as it is, as real as possible. Appreciate y'all for checking me out.